Welcome to Sky Broking Commodity Weekly Market Commentary. Disclaimer: this weekly market commentary is for information purpose only. Before taking any decision, consult your financial advisor. Major data of this week has high number of inflation-related data only. Now let's look into the precious metals outlook. Gold and silver has news like a blockbuster non-farm payroll report has moved forward taper expectations and allowed the yield curve to steepen. Wall Street will pay close attention to Wednesday's July inflation report, which should show prices increased again. Persistent inflation worries are showing some signs of easing. Fundamentally, this is a negative news for precious metals, and technically speaking, last week we mentioned gold and silver may expect a profit booking ahead, and that had exactly happened. And in this week, gold remains in a selling pressure up to 46252 levels. If silver breaks below 64630, then further movement to downside up to 63965 levels. These are the major precious metals outlook. Now let's check out the energy outlook. First is crude oil. It has the news like oil prices continue to see risk come off over Delta variant fears and a stronger dollar. The oil market heavily remains in deficit, but the short-term hit to demand is weighing on prices. After the last week's surprise increase in the US stockpiles, energy traders will closely watch to see if that is becoming a trend. Fundamentally, this is a negative news for crude oil, and technically speaking, crude oil may expect a high volatility trade. Next is natural gas. It has a news like hot weather caused power generations to burn more of the fuel to keep air conditioners humming. Fundamentally, this is a positive news for natural gas, and technically speaking, natural gas has a close above 315, which means some more upswings are ahead. So these are the major energy outlook. Now let's come up to see the base metals outlook. First is copper. It has a news like concerns about the Delta strain's impact on growth have been weighing on metals this week. About half of China's provinces are trying to limit the spread. This is fundamentally a negative news for copper, and technically speaking, copper may expect a mixed trade in between 702 to 755 levels. Next is aluminum. It has a news like market bullish for low carbon aluminum differentials heading into 2022 negotiations of deals. This is fundamentally a positive news for aluminum, and technically speaking, aluminum remains in a positive trend. Next is lead. It has a news like LME lead prices brought down by the US dollar index. This is fundamentally a negative news for lead, and technically speaking, lead may expect a range-bound trade in between 172 to 181 levels. Next is zinc. It has news like base metal prices will be sluggish and summer slowdown. This is fundamentally a negative news for zinc, and technically speaking, zinc remains in a profit booking on higher levels. And to conclude with its nickel, it has news like healthy demand from tightened supply sustained and stainless steel maintained the hectic production schedule. In the short term, nickel prices congestion is expected to end and later will fluctuate uptrend. This is fundamentally a positive news for nickel, and technically speaking, nickel may expect a range-bound trade. Now these are this week's Commodity Weekly Market Commentary. For more profits and information, visit our website www.skybroking.com. Thank you by Sky Broking.